Concrete. It's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. If you want to make really good money in concrete, though, you want to be the estimator. And to be an estimator, you need to understand how to work one of these pages here. In concrete, there's two basic types of installation. There's a reinforced concrete installation and an unreinforced. So a reinforced concrete installation is basically going to use a steel mesh or rebar embedded in the concrete that will give it both tensile strength and compressive strength. If we look over in the specification, we'll see for the reinforcement, it's using a wire mesh reinforcement. If we're using rebar, we'd have to use a different table. So this would be for like a standard patio type installation. This would be a non-industrial. An unreinforced concrete installation, if we look in our specification, does not include that wire mesh. Again, it would be great for a patio. The difference is this is more likely to crack, but it does add cost to the job. Looking at a table for a concrete job, we'll see our standard unit column, and in this case, we have a square foot cost. The beauty of this is that we get to calculate it in square feet. When we calculate concrete by hand, we're figuring how many cubic yards. What this table does for me, it says if you've got a patio and it's 4 inches thick, that's a three-dimensional line, not a dimension line. If that patio is 4 inches thick, all I need to know is the width and the length so I can figure out the square feet of that job. And then I just look on the table if it's a 4, a 6, or an 8-inch slab. So we don't need to do the full volume calculation. We just need to know the number of square feet. We have our material cost. That's the cost of the concrete itself delivered. The labor, the cost for people to stay there and pour it in and finish it. And in this case, we're adding in something we haven't seen yet, and that's an equipment cost. Now, there's two possible routes this could take. One is I own the equipment. Well, then why do you need to pay for the equipment if you already own it? Well, somebody had to buy it. I'm not going to go out and spend $100,000 on concrete equipment and let you use it for free. So basically, I'm renting the customer the equipment at this much per square foot. If I'm a smaller contractor or I don't do a lot of concrete, I might decide instead to rent that. So again, this would be the cost of the rental of that equipment. One thing that's interesting to look at in these tables on each type of trade is the difference in cost between the material and the labor. So in the case of concrete, you can see that the material is very much a large part of the cost and the labor for it is not so much. If you think about concrete, it's heavy material. It takes gasoline and big heavy trucks to move that around. So a lot of what you're paying for is that truck just to haul that concrete from one place on the planet to another. Be sure when you're estimating your jobs, you specify in advance if it is a reinforced concrete slab or an unreinforced concrete slab. When you look at the costs of a reinforced job versus an unreinforced job, pay attention to both the material and the labor. For a reinforced, the material is going to be $2.28 per square foot, and the unreinforced is $1.49. What you're paying for is that wire mesh. That's the additional material there. What's interesting, though, to install it, the labor is 42 cents a square foot for reinforced, but $1.01 a square foot for unreinforced. That's going to take a little bit of research to find out why it actually costs more. In the end, our total, $2.70 a square foot for reinforced, $2.51 a square foot for unreinforced. We're also adding in a penny of equipment for unreinforced. Again, I'm curious what we added into that unreinforced to add that extra cost. That's basically what you need to know in a nutshell. I could go on and on about this, but we're just doing some basic math here, so good luck.